The light of happiness. Once a young student felt weighed down by sadness. It clung to him like a shadow, never leaving his side. One day, unable to bear it any longer, he approached his wise teacher. "Master," he said, his voice tinged with despair, "I feel sad all the time. How can I free myself from this feeling?" The teacher, an elderly man with a kind smile, studied the boy for a moment before replying, "The answer lies within you. But first, I have a task for you. Go and find the shoes of the happiest person you can." The student, eager for a solution, set off on his search. His heart carried a glimmer of hope as he wandered through the village. The first person he saw was a woman selling flowers. Her laughter was light, and her face glowed like the morning sun. Surely she must be happy. He stepped forward and asked politely, "Ma'am, you seem so joyful. Could I have your shoes? They must hold the secret to happiness." The woman chuckled, but her eyes dimmed slightly. "Thank you, young one, for your kind words," she said. "I love my flowers, and they bring smiles to many. But happiness is not as simple as it seems. My husband is unwell, and though I try to stay cheerful, my heart carries worry every day." The student frowned. If even she had sorrow, perhaps happiness was elsewhere. He moved on and soon heard the sound of a flute. A man played a lively tune, his fingers dancing over the instrument, filling the air with music. Surely he must know happiness. The student hurried over. "Sir, your music lifts everyone's spirits. May I have your shoes? Surely they carry the secret to joy?" The flutist paused and gave a bittersweet smile. "Music is my passion, and I love bringing happiness to others. But even the sweetest melodies cannot erase my own longing. My son left for a distant land, and every note I play reminds me of how much I miss him." The student's heart sank. Was there no one who was truly happy? Still, he continued his search. He met a baker, his hands covered in flour, as he crafted warm, fragrant bread. He spoke with a carpenter who worked diligently, shaping wood into beautiful furniture. He found a painter whose colours brought life to blank canvases. Each one smiled, yet when asked, each revealed a hidden sorrow. A lost loved one, a lingering worry, an unfulfilled dream. The student's shoulders slumped. He had searched far and wide, yet he had found no one without troubles. Disheartened, he returned to his teacher, his steps slow and heavy. The wise teacher welcomed him back with a knowing smile. "So, did you find anyone who was truly happy?" The student shook his head. "No, master. Everyone I met had their own struggles. I thought happiness was something I could find, but now I see it's not so simple." The teacher nodded, pleased with the student's realization. "Indeed, my dear student, happiness is not hidden in someone else's shoes. It is not something you can borrow or take from another. It is a light that lives within you, waiting to shine." The student listened closely as the teacher continued. Every person faces hardships, yet even in difficulty, the flower blooms, the melody plays, and the hands create. Happiness is not the absence of problems. It is the ability to find joy despite them. It is in gratitude for what you have, in the small joys that brighten your days, and in the love and kindness you share with others. The student's eyes widened with understanding. The lesson was not just about seeking happiness, but about recognizing that it was already within him. "But, master," he asked, "why didn't you just tell me this before?" The teacher smiled once more. "If I had simply told you, would you have truly understood? By walking this path, by meeting these people, you discovered the truth for yourself. Now you hold the key to your own happiness. No one can take that away from you." The student left with a lighter heart. His sadness no longer felt so overwhelming, for he now knew that happiness was not something to be found, it was something to be nurtured from within. And with each passing day he chose to cultivate it, step by step, like a flower turning towards the sun. Vocabulary words from the story. Weighed down meaning, to feel burdened or overwhelmed. Example, she was weighed down by worries about her future. Clung meaning, held on tightly to something. Example, the little girl clung to her mother's hand in the crowd. Despair meaning a feeling of hopelessness. Example, after failing the exam, he was filled with despair. Glimmer meaning, a faint or small amount of something, usually hope. Example, despite the difficulties, she held on to a glimmer of hope. Chuckled meaning, laughed quietly or softly. Example, he chuckled at the funny story his friend told. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.